This video is for educational purposes. Perth is the capital city of Western Australia. It is the fourth most populous city in Australia, with a population of over 2.3 million within Greater Perth. It is part of the South West Land Division of Western Australia, with most of Perth's metropolitan area on the Swan coastal plain between the Indian Ocean and the Darling Scarp. The city has expanded outward from the original British settlements on the Swan River, upon which its central business district and port of Fremantle are situated. Subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Perth was founded by Captain James Stirling in 1829 as the administrative centre of the Swan River colony. The city is situated on the traditional lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people, where Aboriginal Australians have lived for at least 45,000 years. Perth was named after the city of Perth in Scotland. Perth was proclaimed as a city by Queen Victoria in 1856, although the city of Perth currently governs only a small area around the central business district. Substantial population growth occurred during the late 19th century Western Australian gold rushes, and the city has continued to expand, particularly after World War II due to a high net migration rate. Post-war immigrants were predominantly from the British Isles and Southern Europe, while more recent arrivals see a growing population of Asian descent. During the late 20th and early 21st centuries, a series of mining booms in various regions of Western Australia propelled Perth into the role of the regional headquarters for significant mining operations. Ranked as one of the world's most livable cities, Perth was classified by the Globalization and World Cities Research Network as a Beta Global City in 2020. As of 2021, Perth is divided into 30 local government areas, comprising over 350 suburbs. The metropolitan contours span 115 kilometers, 71 miles, from Two Rocks in the north to Singleton in the south, and 45 kilometers, 28 miles, from the west coast to Sawyers Valley in the east. Beyond the central business district, predominant urban centers within the metropolitan area include Armidale, Fremantle, Joondalup, Midland, and Rockingham. Most of those were originally established as separate settlements and retained a distinct identity after being subsumed into the wider metropolitan area. Mandurah, Western Australia's second-largest city, forms a conurbation with Perth along the coastline. Despite this, it is generally regarded as an independent city for practical purposes. Perth features several important public buildings, as well as cultural and heritage sites. The city has various notable government buildings, including the Parliament House, Government House, the Supreme Court buildings and the Perth Mint. The city is served by Fremantle Harbour and Perth Airport. It was a naval base for the Allies during World War II, and today, the Royal Australian Navy's Fleet Base West is located on Garden Island. All 5 of Western Australia's universities are based in Perth. The name of the city is taken from Perth, Scotland, in honour of the Secretary of State for War and the Colonies, and member for Perthshire in the British House of Commons, Sir George Murray. Murray's association with the city was included in Stirling's proclamation of the colony, read in Fremantle on June 18, 1829, which concluded with the statement, "Given under my hand and seal at Perth this 18th day of June 1829. James Stirling, Lieutenant Governor." The only contemporary information on the source of the name comes from Charles Fremantle's diary entry for August 12, 1829, which records that they named the town Perth according to the wishes of Sir George Murray. Since 2019, the Noongar name Boorloo has been recognized as denoting the central business district, the local government area, or the capital city in general. The name Boorloo was initially recorded by Robert Manley Lyon as Boorlow in 1833, which was interpreted as Perth, properly Point Fraser, a location in East Perth. He also gave the name Byrebrup for the highland stretching along from Mount Eliza through the center of the town of Perth. In 1947, Ludwig Glauert posited that Lyon may have misunderstood his sources and that Boorloo or Bellow, now transcribed as Bilya, is simply the Noongar word for river. Another source has interpreted Boorloo to mean big swamp, describing the chain of lakes where the central business district and Northbridge are situated. Archaeological evidence attests to human habitation in the Perth area for at least 45,000 years. According to Noongar tradition, they have occupied the area since time immemorial. Noongar country encompasses the southwest corner of Western Australia, with particular significance attached to the wetlands on the Swan coastal plain, both spiritually, featuring in local mythology, and as a source of food. The current central business district location in within the traditional territory of the Muro, a Noongar clan, led by Yelagonga at the time of the British settlement. The Muro was one of several Noongar clans based around the Swan River, known collectively as the Whadjuk. The Whadjuk themselves were one of a larger group of 14 tribes that formed the southwest socio-linguistic bloc known as the Noongar, meaning the people in their language, also sometimes called the Bibbulmun. On September 19, 2006, the Federal Court of Australia ruled in the case of Bennell v State of Western Australia that Noongar native title persisted over Perth metropolitan area. An appeal was subsequently filed, and in 2008, the full court of the Federal Court upheld parts of the appeal by the Western Australian and Commonwealth governments. Following this appeal, the Western Australian Government and the Southwest Aboriginal Land and Sea Council negotiated the Southwest Native Title Settlement. This settlement, including the Whadjuk Indigenous Land Use Agreement over the Perth region, was finalized by the Federal Court on December 1, 2021. As part of this agreement, the Noongar, Kura, Nidja, Bordawan, Past, Present, Future Recognition Act was passed in 2016, officially recognizing the Noongar people as the traditional owners of the southwest region of Western Australia. On January 10, 1697, Dutch captain Willem de Vlaming conducted the first documented exploration by a European of the present-day Perth region. His crew initially explored the area on foot, leading them to what is now central Perth. Continuing, they traveled up the Swan River in search of native inhabitants. They named the river Swan River, a reference to the black swans prevalent in the region. After Vlaminga's observations, other Europeans conducted further voyages of exploration in the period between 1697 and 1829. However, as with Vlaminga's assessments, they judged the area inhospitable and unsuitable for the agriculture necessary to sustain a European-style settlement. Despite the colony of New South Wales establishing a convict-supported settlement at King George's Sound, later Albany, on the south coast of Western Australia in 1826, responding to rumours of potential French annexation, Perth marked the first comprehensive European settlement in the western third of the continent of Australia in 1829. Officially designated as Western Australia in 1832, the colony retained the informal moniker Swan River Colony for many years, after the area's major watercourse. On June 4, 1829, newly arriving British colonists had their first view of the mainland. Captain James Stirling, aboard Parmelia, noted that the site was as beautiful as anything of this kind I had ever witnessed. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share this video with everybody. Click the video on the screen to watch next.